I'm sorry, guys. I know some people probably want me to do some more red pillish type commentary and content, but I'm sorry, but I think the politics right now, I'm going to do some, but I think that the 2024 politics for this year, as far as the 2024 election, I think they're very important too, whether we realize or not. This is really important. This is really crucial for the black community this year. I'm going to say particularly black men because I think that we have the opportunity to do something different and something actually to our advantage. But let me get to the point here. I'm highly disappointed at something that I saw. There's a USA Today article talking about Joe Biden's approval rating amongst black voters. And I gotta tell you, it's way higher than it should be. Although it's lower than it was, but still, it's still too high. I'm sorry. Because it's really honestly, I don't see the reason for it. But let's look at the article. Let me pull that up real quick. Okay. Let's pull that real quick. This is USA Today. A fraying coalition, black, Hispanic, young voters abandon Biden as election year begins. All right. Now I'm going to read a little piece of this article for you. Right. And as it stands, okay, it says here, President Joe Biden heads into the election year showing alarming weakness among stalwarts of the Democratic base, with Donald Trump leading among Hispanic voters and young people. 1 in 5 black voters now say they'll support a third party candidate in November. So again, you know, that's 20% saying they'll support a third party candidate. So again, there's still a push to avoid voting for Republican. Okay? In a new USA Today Suffolk University poll, Biden's failure to consolidate support in key parts of the coalition that elected him in 2020 has left him narrowly trailing Trump, the likely Republican nominee, at 37%, 70% support an unnamed third party candidate. When 7 candidates are specified by name, Trump's lead inches up to a 3% to 3 percentage points, 37 to 34%, with independent Robert Kennedy at the top of the third party candidates at 10%. The findings underscore the formidable political task the president faces this year to win a second term. I think he's done a reasonably sound job, but it's not been a wow administration, said Michelle Durr, 55, a Democrat who plans over Biden. Now, I don't know if this woman is black or not, okay? But if she's not black, she has to be a white liberal, clearly, if the statement she said, this is what she said here. The small business owner from Alexandria, Virginia, a suburb just outside Washington, was among those surveyed. Quote unquote, for me, it's disappointing that we have 2 old white guys in this race again. I want to look forward to the future. Jesus Christ, man. We got to stop this, folks. We got to stop this. We got to stop with the identity politics, really. Like, this has nothing to do with who's qualified, has zero to do with who's the best person for the job. We just got to get off of this nonsense. Now, here, okay, here's a significant thing I want you to see here. And I'm going to highlight this, right? Biden now claims support of just 62% of black voters, a precipitous decline from 87% he carried in 2020, according to the Roper Center. He trails among Hispanic voters by 5 percentage points, 39 to 34%. In 2020, he had swamped Trump among the demographic group 2 to 1, 65 to 32%. And among voters under 35, a generation largely at odds with the GOP on issues such as abortion access and climate change, Trump now leads 37 to 33%. Young voters overwhelmingly backed Biden in 2020. Then, the possible good news for the president is that much of the support he needs to rebuild has drifted to third-party candidates, not into the camp of his likely opponent. 20% of Hispanic and Black voters and 21% of young voters now say they'll back someone other than the two main contenders. Trump has the support of 12% of Black voters, precisely the percentage he received in 2020. This is according to the USA Today, right? Let me tell you something. I just don't understand why we just can't get off of the Democrat. So many of us just can't get off the Democrat plantations. Like we refuse to. There's most of us who've never in our lives probably ever voted Republican. And the argument always is, well, what's the Republicans going to do? Well, what hell's the Democrats done for your black ass for the last 6 decades? It's just a nonsensical argument because at the end of the day, you can't say what one person won't do when you never voted for them and the ones you've been voting for ain't done shit for you. This is absurd, man. The programming is just too deep, man. And like, this is no joke, man. All these immigrants coming in here, they're coming in at the hundreds of thousands a day. Do you folks understand that the Democrats are doing this on purpose? And I've said this before. They want to destroy your electoral power. Do you get that? Do you get that? Even when they wanted to pass that John Lewis voting rights bill, that had crap in there basically to help immigrants get votes. Even in that bill. Okay? Come on. They're willing to give money to illegal immigrants before they give you any money. I just don't get it. Now, I know one of the biggest parts of the black community that's so incessant on voting for the Democrats is, black women and the black boomers. But then I can't say it's just them because at the end of the day, you look at Georgia, you look at the governor's race of Georgia, what Stacey Abrams, even though she lost, black men still voted for her at 85%. The first thing they were ready to do was say, well, wait a minute, what about black men? They were ready to blame us. And then guess what? Me and Turner and a few other people said, no, it's not black men. And they point out the statistics. And part of the reason why, in my opinion, a lot of them pointed it out, not because they were trying to take over black men so much, is because they didn't want this narrative that, well, let's blame black men for something they didn't do, because in the long run, they're afraid that the opposite effect may happen where black men say, hey, well, since we're being blamed for it, let's actually be guilty of it. So they wanted to make sure and to make the case that it wasn't black men, because black men still voted for her at 85% when she don't give two craps about black men. I'm telling you, black folks, we just got to stop, man, and think here. We need to show the overall society that we are not a rubber stamp for the Democratic Party. Because let's be real. Please tell me what Joe Biden has done for black folks. Let's look at his congressional record. Only thing that Joe Biden ever gave black men, I'm going to talk black men, not black women, but black men, the only thing he ever gave us is prison. That's it. School prison pipeline. He ain't giving us nothing else. Mass incarceration. What else? Name one thing else other than that Joe Biden has ever done for black men. Much less the black community. I just don't get it. Why are we so fixated on voting for it? Look, if we're saying that Donald Trump's racist, well, guess what? Go look at Joe Biden's record and then you tell me who's worse. Okay? Because at the end of the day, Donald Trump was president for 4 years. What changed for black? I just want somebody black. Please come in the comment section, whatever. Please tell me within the 4 years Donald Trump was president, please tell me what changed for you. What actually got worse? I'll wait. I know the gas prices were low. I know it wasn't as much inflation. I know we didn't have the supply chain issue. That's what I know. And that's the argument I've had with other black people. But the thing is, they want to go on everything that the most of the arguments I get from black people are all feelings-based arguments. They're not based on actual data, not based on the actual facts. I just don't get it. There's too many of us that still got this slave mind, this Democrat plantation slave mind where it's like, we just got to vote for Massa. But our Massa is really the Democrats. Look, at the end of the day, Joe Biden should have never been got elected in the first place. The man is slipping clearly. He was slipping when he first ran. Really, there's a lot of questions about his cognitive ability. and whether or not he has dementia. There's a lot of questions about is he fit mentally to still be president. And then you have folks still saying, well, I'm going to vote third party. All right? You can vote for where you want to, okay? Obviously, nobody can tell you to vote for. But what is the purpose of you voting? I'm saying, as a black person, talking to other black people, as far as caring about what you want to consider to be the black community of any level, why are we voting against? What are we voting for? We're too busy voting against, not voting for nothing. Okay? 63% is still by far too high. Way too high. There's just no reason for it. I mean, honestly, it just amazes me. I think sometimes, to be honest with you, the problem with a lot of black folks is they just want to vote what they're comfortable with. And it's not even about whether or not they're going to get better. It's a matter about just be comfortable with being mediocre and being kept in the same mediocre position, which is only going to get worse. Because guess what? These immigrants coming here, they think. I mean, come on, let's be real. They're looking to get their space here. A lot of them will probably vote Democrat in the beginning if they can get some illegal votes in there, assuming they can. And why? Because they'll get some of the funding that you're going to get. You see these interstates right now. Well, a lot of that money that black people would be getting, they're not getting it because guess what? A lot of it's getting divided up to these illegal immigrants and housing them. So I don't understand why the 62% is even that high, even among folks who ain't worried about nothing but getting government welfare. Even for the people who worry about getting government welfare, if that's all they want to live for, black folks, that's all they want to live for, please tell me how you're going to get more voting for Joe Biden when they're letting these illegal immigrants funnel in here by the truckload. Okay? I'm just understand. I'm just trying to get it. I just don't get it because the math ain't mathing. Come on, folks. We got to think here. I mean, I'm not saying, look, if you don't want to vote because you can't hold your nose to vote for a Republican, fine. But the idea of you voting third party, if you're willing to go out there to vote third party, hell, you could have done that in 2016. But no, too many of us still want to vote for Hillary Clinton, who don't care about us either. Who's a Goldwater girl. I mean, all this stuff we are so, I'm telling you right now, a lot of ways we're like one of the most politically, if not the most politically retarded group in the country. I'm sorry. Say what you want to say. But strategically, what exactly are we doing? We listen to a lot of old fogies and ministers and pork chop preachers and pimps and these other politicians that have been in Congress that are 80 years old or older in some cases, or almost 80, who've done nothing for how many years except get a check to tell you to stand down. To tell younger folks to stand down and say, oh, it's going to take this long, that long. And you'll be sitting there standing down. Nobody else is, though. Matter of fact, you got groups that have barely been in this country getting benefits already. But they keep telling you to stand down. When your ancestors built this country, fought in every war, black men fought in every war in this country's history. All these things. Okay? Bled into the soil of this country and everything else. But yet, still, man, stand down. You got to wait. It's going to be a long time before you get anything. Sorry. But vote for us anyway. We gotta stop, man. Really, okay? We are just playing with ourselves in a way that's not gonna be satisfying. I mean, hell, you got some YouTubers out here talking about the black folks gonna be politically extinct in 5 years. I'm gonna tell you, I think it's gonna be less than that. So I'm gonna tell you something. That's the reason why some of y'all can't blame people like some of these black conservatives, the ones that basically don't have no faith in you. You get like Greg Foreman for one example. You know, and now I criticize him, and let me tell you something. Some ways I can't blame him. Because you sit there and look at the statistics, and the only thing you can do is scratch your head and shake your head and say, why are you doing this? I mean, the numbers are too disproportionate to the fact that this man, come on, they're worried about LGBTQ issues. They're worried about talking about January 6th, all this stuff that they want you to be mad about that don't change nothing in your life. They're giving money. They give the money to every country except for the people who's making the tax money. They give American taxpayer revenue to countries in the billions of dollars, but they can't hardly give us enough money to get rid of a lot of poverty. So come on, please tell me why you want to say, well, I can't vote for Trump. You had 4 years of Trump. What changed for you? You can make the case some things actually got better. And you don't want to give Trump credit for things he's done. I'm not trying to tell you you have to vote for Trump, but let's just be honest. If we're going to make that comparison, let's make a real comparison. Donald Trump did more for Joe Biden in those 4 years than he's done in his present term right now. Okay, and I stand by that, and I stand by the statement that actually Donald Trump did more for black people in the 8 years that Obama was in office. Even if you want to call some of those things symbolic, those are things that Obama could have done. He didn't do it. So come on, man, we got to really do something different this time. We really got to. We got to do something different. Again, it's not like I'm trying to be this big Trump thumper, but I'm gonna tell you something. I really think that we should make an honest vote for something different. Because in all honesty, we keep voting for the Democrats. It's definitely not going to get better, I can tell you. It's not. It's going to get worse. But guess what? The rest of us that know better, we want to do better. And at the end of the day, it comes down to survival. And some of us are just not going to survive. Another one of us that see that when they see that the ship sinking, we're going to jump ship. I'm going to be one of them, I'm going to tell you right now. Y'all can stay here and do whatever, but I'm telling you, we got a chance this year to make a significant impact and see what impact we make. Otherwise, you can't blame the other groups for just saying, hey, you people are a joke, because you don't get it. Because we're not getting it still yet. Hopefully we will by November. Hopefully.